Well, probably not gonna top forgetting what the confirm trade button is, but I can sure try. Alright. This time around, got all the way over here to Ezra. Gotta remember about the root surprise over near Almond Porch. I'll probably forget, but hopefully by then I'll be strong enough. Alright. So how about go back to Samas? Then from here, could go to Bela, could go right to Grid Gate. Not much reason to go anywhere else. I'll head over to Bela. Soon as I stop getting lost. Discovered Tarkaba negative first. Bloodstained neck ring. Might as well. Don't have all that many free skill points. Was thinking of maybe grabbing Harvestry, but it'll have to wait. Hendriarch K. Live and drink, Kendrin. I'm Hendriarch K. Welcome to Bela. It's nearly unprecedented for one such as you to pass by our scouts unaccosted. But these are unprecedented circumstances. I have a task for you. Are you interested? Yeah, go on. Good. We Hendrin are a close-knit and staid people, and our safety depends on our solidarity. In order to preserve our safety and culture, we ask that any of our number who leave us never come back. Recently, one such exile took the treasure of our village, a bracelet named Kindrish, with her when she left. None of our number can leave to get it back, or it will be a violation of the values that I have guarded. And the Hendriarchs before me, for countless generations. Will you help us recover our treasure? We have a small cache of valuables we can offer as a reward. Alright, I'll find your treasure. Excellent. I will do my best to reward you to your satisfaction. Though her name is sand in my mouth. The exile who stole Kindrish is called Eskind. She left a few weeks ago and took her sister and brother with her. Don't know where she's gone, but Warden Nilahind might, as they are close friends as children. Or were. Find the exile called Eskind and retrieve Kindrish from her, even if the cost is the life of her and her siblings. Kindrish has been handed down over countless generations, and it belongs to my people, not any individual. Go, Kendrin. Speak to Warden Nilahind and find out where Eskind is hidden. As you say. The warden is lost in rumination. It can't be. It simply can't be. Warden Nilahind? Ah, yes. My apologies, Kendrin. Live and drink. I am Nilahind, Warden of Bela. How may I help you? Hendriarch Ked told me that you were once friends with Eskind. Yes, we were close. I can scarcely believe that she would be capable of doing such a thing. Stealing our greatest treasure? Eskind wouldn't possibly. But if Grando says it is, it must be so. You know where Eskind and her siblings might have gone? Oh. Esk and I, we had a place. There's a path to the east that leads to the remains of a lightning-struck tree, made hollow by the fire from above. It was the furthest from the village either of us had ever been, until I attended my first warden's moot. She and I would spend time there, back then. Perhaps she is there now, but I don't dare check. I'll have a look there. Thank you. Alright, to the east. A lot of goats. And a special one, Radnabaha, Twice Talker, the goat folk shaman of Clan White Tongue. Loved by the goat folk, disliked by the villagers of Darakesh for eating all their fruit. Hated by the Fellowship of Wardens for questioning the origins of the moon. And hated by the Pistachio Woe of Tuk Order for worshipping a highly entropic being. Seem to have horns and a stinger. They've got a weird artifact, a two-handed carbide longsword. In other words, do not fight fair, because they aren't. Ha. A space-time vortex. Back it up a little. Paralyzing poison. Another vortex. Not sure if I'm winning or not. Let's guarantee it. There we go. Level 15. Genome enters an excited state. Think I'm gonna start putting these into heightened quickness. Now despised by the goat folk. Some bracers. I'll collect that in case I find another one. As for the attribute point, stick it in int. Base rank is 6. Rapid mutation increases it by 3. It's currently limited to 8. Not gonna bother with double muscled just yet. Stick it into triple jointed. Next level it'll get an extra agility. Not sure if that'll be enough to get me anything. Actually, it will. It'll get me disarming shot, which is pretty nice. Get carbide chef. We get harvestry and butchery. We have enough intelligence for Tinker 2. Gonna have to save up points. Got 98 skill points on the last level up. Then I increased my int, so if I assume I'm gonna get 100 more points next level up, won't be enough for Tinker 2. If I get both of the cooking and catering skills. Grab him anyway. Lacquered weird artifact. Plexiweave sturdy carbide plate armor. Guess I don't need this no more. Gold fleck tube. Skulk. And magnetized boots. Don't need those. Does remind me. Nah. Still missing the 4-bit. Alright, moving on. Get +1 agility out of these gloves. But then I'd lose out on 2 armor value. surprisingly accurate with that. An ape fur cloak. Sell that. Grab the knife. There is Ka Mao Moi Yuki Oyayo, the stylish, legendary albino ape. Loved by apes, disliked by bears for refusing them entrance to a local library. Hated by the Fellowship of Wardens for selling a map of their vaults to adventurers. And hated by equines for repeatedly beating them at dice. It's got a lot of stuff, but nothing I want. Yeah. Make some food. Actually, yeah, no, I did get Carbide Chef. Let's make something simple. Fine wafer. And that's it. Here we are at the burnt out tree. And we picked up a note. Sheaf of tattered parchment. Or no, wait, that's a different one. Crumpled sheet of paper. That's the one. When all four limbs of mine do long to run, and spitting anger boils up in my blood, when weary mind cannot conceive of fun, and hardened heart despises all of cud. But then you look at me with those sweet eyes, and so I feel the gentle warmth of love. So as you're close enough to tantalize, that's when I hope that we could be enough. What need have we for putting safety first? Our parents will not offer me your hand. What do we gain from planning for the worst? Our village shall not ever understand. Although I may succumb to nature's fang, my heart needs more than one square parasang. It's a pretty nice poem. Hold there. Who are you? What do you want? I am Panini. Indriar K sent me. Yeah? I'm shocked that she even deigned to speak my name. I am a pariah now, beneath discussion. Does she demand remuneration or Let me try that word again. Remuneration. for the scant supplies I stole. She says that you stole Kindrish, the village's treasure. Eskyne burst into forced, nervous laughter. Is that her angle? The claim that I stole Kindrish. Her influence must be waning more than even I know. So it's a frame-up. But I did not suspect it. Claim innocence. Yes, I am falsely accused. See, Bela strives to forget anyone who sees the outside. The gerontocracy ensures that its leaders will always be aging and fearful. Pariahs like me can be easily accused of crimes committed by Kay or her cronies. So, you think Kay stole the treasure then? You Kendron are just as thick as the elders. I'd hoped otherwise. Yes, I am suggesting that old Grando is trying to fool you, and the village as well. I'm not certain that she stole it herself, but an investigation might undermine her authority, and she cannot have that. Don't have to be so rude. Rude? How dare? No, I apologize for my rudeness. Please understand that we have lost so much by leaving Bela. My mind is not in a gentle place, and being revisited by the tyranny I left behind is causing newly closed wounds to open. Forgive my tone, but please understand, I did not steal Kindrish. You are being used. Alright, what should I do? The proof is in the petals, Kindred. You want justice? Find out what really happened. You find evidence. Warden Dilahind will support you. Speak to her. She is loyal to Grando, but more loyal to the truth. I will return to the village and we will sort this out. The Hendriarch will have to tolerate my presence until my name is cleared. I will. Live and drink. Why is an exile standing in my village? Are you trying to play me for a fool? Eskyne claims to be wrongfully accused. The pariah claims to be wrongfully accused, and you believe her. She's obviously lying. Are all Kendrons so gullible? There's no proof that she's a liar. Fine. Go to the warden then, and have her solve this mystery. But know this, until a thief is found and Kindris is recovered, I cannot reward you. You get nothing. Live and drink, friend. Not so easily bribed. Wait, why is Esk here? What's going on? Do you have Kindrish? No. Eskyne claims to be wrongfully accused. Oh. But what now? You're the warden. You tell me. I don't know. Grando usually resolves Bela's disputes. I am present to diffuse violence, or keep the peace through the threat of it. What do you think? How about we investigate, find out what really happened? Oh, well, yeah, that's a good idea. You'll help, right? My axe arm and conviction are strong, but deduction has never been my greatest strength. I can answer questions about the people in town, if that would be helpful. I'll return when I have questions, or an accusation. Alright. The first obvious thing. A bulging water skin. This water skin is filled to the brim and sealed with wax, as if from a merchant's stores. Free solve injector. Free EMP grenade. Have a quick look at the people. Eskine appears to be favoring a leg, though she has concealed any injury. Carmine streaks on Kesahine's armor suggest that he tried and failed to wipe away spilled blood. Saw something over here. Some yuckweed chaff. Or chaff. Chaff of the yuckweed stem tastes even worse than the stem itself, and it has no medicinal value, so it's no wonder someone threw it away. How odd. Some discarded chaff from a yuckweed plant. And some leather scraps. Leather scraps were cut from a wider swath for some unknown leatherworking project. How odd. Someone dropped some scraps of cut leather here. Live and drink, Kendrin. Ya seen or heard anything? You know, Brando spent some late nights working on something she wouldn't talk about. Wonder what that was. Apparently the Hendriarch isolated herself to work on a mystery project, possibly tied Kindrish. How do Kendrian stay safe when you don't have a Grando to protect you? Guns, mostly. Have you seen or heard anything? Sorry, didn't see anything. How about you? Please go away. No. Have you seen or heard anything? Sorry, didn't see anything. How about you? Feels strange to allow you to cross our borders unimpeded, but Grando wills it. Seen or heard anything? I went to do some repairs to my boots, but someone's been in our stores of war leather. We have far less than we should. Scouts reports that someone has taken leather from the village stores, indicating recent craft. No good can come of allowing Kendrin into Bela. Seen or heard anything? I came across some Kendrin who claimed to be treasure hunters. They said that they would pay good water for unique artifacts or treasures. Scouts have seen Kendrin treasure hunters about, the type that will take anything not nailed down. Discovered all the evidence. Alright, let's get to accusing someone. But before that, I think this poem I found was meant for you. Just a hunch. For me? Are you sure? But this is a poem in Eska's handwriting. Are you sure this is for me? Yeah. Please read it. Oh, I have she. Eskin wrote this about me. How my head swims at these lavish words. She wrote this and meant it for me. She must love me. But it can't be, can it? It is. Live and drink. I haven't checked the store here, actually. Berries and bark. Don't have any berries, actually. Second thought is 1 AV worth being lost that much more? Probably isn't. Stick the compass back on. You'd have the bracers back. Slight discount. Oh, hey there, Billy. Didn't see you there. It goes pretty good, actually. Hopefully it keeps going that way. Alright, and now we get to the accusing. Yes, I am ready to accuse the thief. I see. What is it? Found a few scraps from some kind of leatherworking project. A sign of recent craft. Signs of craft, seemingly hidden from the village. But that can't be your only evidence, can it? There's no culprit. Well, apparently, the Hendriarch isolated herself to work on a mystery project. Possibly to hide Kindrish. Nah, Grando's absolutely meticulous about her work clutter. She wouldn't leave scraps lying around. Darn. That's one option gone. Let's try again. Scouts report that someone's taken leather from the village stores, indicating recent craft. Signs of craft, hidden from the village. Kesahine tried to clean some blood off his armor, but he missed a spot. Ah, yeah. This does indicate that some kind of violence transpired, and Kesahine was trying to hide it. So what you're saying is... Yeah, that's right. By concealing craft and violence, it was Kesahine who stole Kindrish. The evidence is clear. Eskyne did not steal Kindrish. The crime was committed by none other than Grando's protector, Kesahine. He will be stripped of the ancestral axe he carries, stripped of his property, and stripped from our oral histories. Never will his name be spoken here again, and he will never return, on pain of death. Moreover, Kay's attempt to pin blame on Eskyne without due process opened my eyes to her abuse of power. She need not leave Bela, but she is Kayhind once more, stripped of her title and standing. As for the Hindriarchy, Eskyne will act as interim leader until we figure out what to do next, as a people. It will be a challenge to accept change, but we will be stronger for it. In that case, my job here is done. Live and drink. Got Ari and Idamod flaming. Which is half as much damage as my current knife, but it does have fire. 2 to 4 heat damage to be more specific. Probably just gonna sell it. Ha, real justice. Never thought I'd see the like. Not here. Well done. I'll admit, I would have preferred to avoid becoming the Hindriarch, but I'm hoping to bring my people to a more democratic form of governance. Then I can vote myself out. Have some water. No secrets to share. Although I do have the warden to give some water to. $125. Still not enough to learn that skill she has. But that's fine. Probably don't need it. And if I do, maybe I'll have a secret later on to trade for it. Alright. Now, Gridgate. Rifling through the trash. Piece together the clues and determine the location of Babo, Goatfolk Village. Two pairs of carbide gauntlets. Lexi vest. Metamorphic polygel. Very cool. Discover the location of Mashwukat Tract. Discover the location of Black Bosk, Goatfolk Haunt. Gaslit Fleesa. I think this is the one that counts as a sword once it's powered. I'm not using swords. Maybe just disassemble that one. Freeze grenade Mark II. Or polygel. My idea is to be willowy. And maybe the gloves too. Although I could give those 6-fingered instead. Not enough to go over the threshold. Could make the Polaroid Aegis willowy if I have a 5-bit. I think I can do that, but I'd have to take apart my Sphinx Salt injector. Which, looking at it, seems like a good idea. Wait, how much do gloves weigh? 18 pounds. Yeah. Willow those up. Lots of scrap. Nearly to level 16. Added Nullworm Skull. Slightly better than the current skull I have. And just to check. Nowhere requiring a pickaxe. The guy went down surprisingly easy. But again, I do have a crystal weapon and surprisingly good armor. Which is usually a lot better than what a level 15 would have by this point. Usually. Engraved Steel Vine Reaper. In 2385 before Rashev, Ufremasp, the foretold Inkwell, the Sapir Woe, the bane of Wasamas, died of natural causes. He was 102 years old. Stun gas. Don't need that. We're getting hungry again. Vine wafer and nothing else. Although I say that, also added in a chameleon horn, crushed sesame seed, and a gold bolt from a rifle turret. Oh hey there, Maniacal. How you doing? Just been doing a little bit of cutting. Ooh, thanks for the follow. Just dandy. I am bad at detecting sarcasm, so hopefully you're not being sarcastic. Could always use a little bit more positive in my life. Voice transmitting through the panel says, "Begone, Wayfarer. This is no place for you." Hold on. My name is Panini. The people of Samaz recently came into possession of a data disk, onto which a strange signal was recorded. At their behest, I carried the disk with me. They say your tutelage is to be my reward. A slot opens from the center of the door, and a metal tray slides out. Place the data disk in there. Several minutes pass. So you wish to study with us? Unfortunately, we require more than a willing spirit. That is not Samaz. You will need to prove your worth, that you might not waste our time and efforts. Travel to the great cavern Golgotha to the north. Within its halls, you will find a cache of dysfunctional Waydroids. Recover one, repair it, and return it here. If we are satisfied with your work, you will be admitted to our order. Otherwise, you will not be. Do you accept this arrangement? Yeah, sure. Have you completed the task? Not yet. I require entrance to the city for the purposes of trade. Enter then, traveler. Hello, Mafio. Welcome to Great Gate, Delver. Care to enhance the quality of your stay with a wise purchase? Yes, please. Ooh, it's got grave moss. And a whole pile of bullets. So many things to sell, but not too many things to buy. Unfortunate. Got a Great Gate recoiler. Stasis Grenade Mark 1. I think I already had the recoiler. Apparently not, because I only see one there. Alright. So I think I'm well equipped enough to go and do Golgotha right away. So I will. Soon as I get there without getting lost. Going through a lot of ruins. Maybe I should explore them. Who's that over there? Nara, Stargazer, the goat folk shaman of Clan White Tongue. So loved by the goat folk, hated by the cabal of the Kakish Scourge for disproving a famous theorem. Hated by dogs for sowing their fields with salt. Disliked by frogs for ruining the festival of Utiyarauks. And there's also a slumberling. Level 16. Stick a point into triple jointed. Grab disarming shot. Keep firing. There we go. Swell with the inspiration to name your semi-automatic pistol. This time, I'll pick a name off of my own culture. What do we get? Meshraj Shriyan. Vishrashriya. Interesting name. A structural name. Lacquered sturdy carbide plate. Would be a good find if I didn't have something very slightly better. Steel gauntlets. Skip those. Steel buckler. Placed a bloodied net ring with that. Who's that over there? Boku Buyu Boko Buyube. Renowned honey-loving slumberling. Loved by bears, admired by the daughters of exile, for providing shelter during a glass storm. Disliked by trolls for sowing their fields with salt, and disliked by fungi for disparaging a famous poet. Maybe I should just ignore that guy. Seems kinda tough. Isakari's sun veil with filters is better than what I have right now. Couple of dreadroot tubers. Getting shot at by lasers. Laser turret. Let's try to disarm it. Oh, didn't quite succeed. Or did I? Jacked a laser rifle. So I did succeed. Those are worth a little bit of cash. Gonna try to do it again. Don't think I was successful that time. Need to get me some chain pistols. Chain gun turrets. I think I successfully disarmed that one. Chain gun. So, not sure how long that's been there, but I do have a recipe I could be making. Get right on that. Alright. Gonna go with 12. Can't have it all. And cider. What do we get? Think it gave the banana effect. I could grab psychometry at level 1 to 2, along with quickness, natural healing rate. Could get identify an artifact whenever I stop bleeding. Whenever I use a Salver Ubernostrum injector, identify all artifacts on the local map. Those all kinda suck. Go with the first one. Paninis, bread over balm, spice, and glazed bananas. Could use a little bit of meat, but otherwise, sounds like a good sandwich. Do I have anything to investigate? Can now make solar cells. I already knew how to make night vision. Explosive missiles? Too complex. Skulk injector. No way I can get laser rifle. Yeah, no. Do think I picked up a couple of grenades. EMPs Mark 1. Breeze Mark 2. Should get rid of the Mark 1s. Stasis Mark 1s. And I had everything else. Alright. Continuing on. Did not mean to pick up that corpse. Could eat it, but I'm not quite that hungry. Painted steel cookery. In 1 BR, the gyre widened, and the final plague afflicted the land. The Gersh Nephilim rose from their cradles on the moonstair and slouched toward Cud to eat its young. Reshef rose to meet them in battle and cast them back. Will stop being lost eventually. that's a vortex. It's also Rarabana Clovenhorn, the goat folk shaman of Clan Ibex. Is loved by the goat folk, hated by the villagers of Kyakukia for digging up the remains of their ancestors, and hated by the Snapjaws for casting doubt on their beliefs. It's got horns, and even more horns. Got a bunch of regular old items. And I know he has the vortex, but he might have something else up his sleeve. Let's find out. Whatever he's got, it's got a lot of health. Not enough health. I am now favored by the villagers of Kyakukia. Forget if rubber suits are all that expensive. Guess I'll find out. Someone's throwing organic grenades at me again. Should probably heal up. Eat some bark. It's good for you. No, really is nice to have that bubble. As much as people say that living in a bubble is unhealthy, I find it pretty good for the longevity. Or longevity. Yeah, that's how you pronounce that. Still lost. Glowsphere. Oh, maybe next level up, I'll finally get wayfaring. Could certainly use it. Oh, didn't even notice. I'm no longer lost. Alright. Which door or hole in the ground do I want to risk? 4 of them. And there's no way to know which one goes where. Being said, since I have the bubble, I can always go down, and if it sucks, just teleport right on out of there. Probably do that if I run into the one that has all the shoot grabs. Do have a nasty tendency to just kind of keep spawning. And they also use cudgel weapons, so if you're unlucky, you just get chain stunned to death as you're surrounded by crabs. Sounds silly, but it'll happen to you. Alright. Some honey. Fermented yuckweed. And some cider. Plus 4 quickness. Only get ill for 1/10 the usual length of time. And save versus disease. Alright. Now, is the time that I break all the momentum and say I have to go for a piss. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Right. Ate the meal. Got a little bit of disease resistance. Got an amount of honey in the water skin. I've got one more yuckweed if I need to make another meal. So I think we're good to go. If we're not, I'll be surprised. Anyway, down the hole. Sparking vent. Not the worst one. Some jelly over there. Level 17. I haven't put too many points into force bubble or teleport. And I know that teleport's a lot more useful to lower the uncertainty radiuses. Maybe I put a couple of points into that one. 144 skill point. You have the first level of wayfaring already. And I know it's kinda handy to have the wilderness lures for the different areas you like to wander around, but more of a true kind of thing, at least in my experience. Could save up points for Tinker 2. Could finally start putting points into Short Blade other than the opening skill. Listen to shields. Flying Hearts are right. It's kinda situational though. Deadshot is something we absolutely want, but it's gonna be a while until we get 25 agility. And other than that, we could just pick up a new skill, but I think I'll just hold on to the points for now. Right. There's probably an eel in the Black Ooze. There he is. There he goes. Discover the location of Forgotten Ruins. Stick this in the lead acid cell. Although I should probably just get rid of that. Alright, next floor. It is needful now to the contrary. Yarad something was captured by bandits. Interesting. Whole bunch of gluey or gooey black ooze. Just gonna go down this way. sewage eel wraps itself around your feet. You maintain your balance and kick the eel away. And we're at the bottom. Get out of the goop. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. Friggin' Twitch mobile app keeps freezing on me. Not sure why it does, but it sure does. Discover the location of the icosahedron Miritum. Piece together the clues to arrive at the following conclusion. A Negosab tricked the goat folk Yurt Warden into sharing some of their fresh water. Scandalous. Discover the lair of Mostres Eolum, legendary madpole. There he is. Slog of the Cloaca. Loved by mollusk, disliked by robots for burning one of their leaders in effigy. Hated by the Mechanimist for poisoning their freshwater. And admired by the villagers of Tenna for worshipping the same deities. Alright then. Shields up. And teleport away so he can't spit bile at me. Although he probably will. Yep. Alright. He's wounded but at close range. Surely I can take him in a melee fight. Seem to be winning. There we go. Favored by the Mechanimist. Piece together the clues to arrive at the following conclusions. Witness, mark in awe the life of Ufrismasp, or Ufrimasp, called the foretold Inkwell, scion of the fossilized sods and he who was dowered by the olive face. Observed the twin miracles of the year of the kind hourglass. The heir was born, and a college was founded. I don't know, man. Not sure a college being founded counts as a miracle. Take your word for it. Discovered forgotten ruins. And the sewage yield won that one. Been poisoned. Carbide folding hammer has been rusted and immediately reduced to dust. A little bit less money. What a tragedy. But at least I don't have the Globetrot. And everything else is fine. Pick up the Waydroid. And fix it up. Alright. Finish exploring this place and get the hell out of here. Discover the location of Spheroid 4th. Square cab. Right. That's this place done. The chrome platform begins to hum as it ascends into the darkness. Alright, we're out. Clean myself up a bit. And a little bit more. There we go. And we're lost again. Make a meal out of Sparktic plasma, canned Habitol, cider. Whenever you deal electrical damage, there is a 25% chance you teleport all creatures surrounding you. Could be pretty useful. Do know how to make the mod for making a melee weapon electrified. Or I can grab the boring version, which is just more electric resist. And getting teleport utter at level 1 to 2. I'll go for that one. He needs marinated voider and cider rice in lightning. I don't know why the music sometimes just cuts out, but it sure did. And now it's back, as soon as I complain about it. Oh, so I could have just recoiled right back here. Whatever. Builds character. Have you completed the task? Yup. The slot opens from the center of the door. A bright red light shines through. Several minutes pass. You may enter. Simply walk through the force barrier. Make your first 2 lefts and speak to Steward Offo in his office. Welcome to Great Gate. I am Afo, Bear of Room's steward. I apologize for the manner of our introduction, but we must take precautions. Cut is a very unforgiving place. I am pleased to see that you've returned with the way droid, though you still know little of the danger you bear. Take this firearm as your reward. It bears the mark of our finest gunsmith, Sparafusil. Return when you are ready to discuss the signal. Thank you. I will. Get me that chain pistol. Promoted to the rank of apprentice. Avo's reputation, loved by the Berephamites, disliked by winged mammals, for refusing them entrance to Great Gate. Disliked by cannibals, for also refusing them entrance to Great Gate. And disliked by tortoises for, you guessed it, refusing them entrance to Great Gate. Might sound rude, but you're not getting any water. Hello there, Shem-1. In a different life, you'd be a great friend. In this one, live and remain ever restless. Can make acid salt donuts with acid and salt, and use corrosive gas generation at level 1 to 2. Guaranteed to be tasty. And donut over bone meal, slime and salt. Guaranteed to be tasty if eaten while hungry, +2 armor value, and slime glands at level 1. What an amazingly great meal. I will definitely be making that one. I could use a bit of salt. Pick that up. Oh no, wait. This is the named one. Keep this one. Get rid of the other one. I just have to find another chain pistol. What did I just pick up? It's friggin' heavy. Motorized treads. You know what? You guys can keep that one. Still carrying too much. What to take apart? Guess I don't need EMP Mark 1s. Once again, just very slightly above the weight limit. Don't need the high explosive missiles. And once I do need them, I'll probably know how to make them anyways. Alright. Let's go talk to Sparrow. Bunch of good stuff. Nothing I can make use of right now. While traveling alone through the Rust Wells, Reshef came across a trove of gleaming stars in a bottle. That day forth, he always kept some stardust on his person. Next, Q-Girl. She usually has some stuff worth trading for. Hated by mollusk, disliked by antelopes, admired by the villagers of R. Have some water. And I will tell you about the Sphere Forth Nabir and Forgotten Ruins. By all these gemstones. I will sell the padded nullworm skull, just because I have the square cap already. Next up, I think I've already traded with Maffeo, but he might have refreshed his inventory. Doesn't quite seem like it. Chocobo. Jack, Slender. Bunch of other things. Might pay off to know how to make jacked items. Might not, but it's relatively cheap. Alright, Tinker 2. Don't think anyone else has much of an inventory worth bothering with. But let's find out. Scrap. Couple of artifacts. Engraved bottle. After trading with hermits, a Fremasp convinced them to help him found a workshop in the gambler's autarky of Timur for the purpose of glass-blowing inkwells. They named it the Inquisitive Workshop. Apparently I already knew that. don't really need any of that food. Alright, trading's done. Let's go see Offo again. Are you ready to discuss the signal? Yeah. Have a sip before reading this couple of paragraphs. Alright. The signal is a repeat transmission being broadcast from an unknown source. A tinker must have detected it and then recorded it onto the data disk he brought us. However, we've known about since it went live over a year ago. One of our tinkers, Q-Girl, discovered it while rigging a long-wave detector. Unfortunately, it's encrypted, and we do not have the means here to decrypt it. You may be of some help in this matter, however. We've long known the location of a fully functional Beetle within the bowels of the Great Hall of Bethesda Susa. The Mechanimists have consecrated the site around it and built a temple there. Q-Girl claims to have developed a means to decrypt the signal, but she needs the computing power of the Beetle. If you can infiltrate the Mechanimist compound, you may be able to engage the Beetle and decode the signal. And what is a Beetle? They are antique stones located in certain places deep within the caverns of Cud. We believe they are some sort of hyper-advanced machines built by the Eaters. Often one claims to possess the sentience of its own. However, most of them have gone haywire in the eons since their creation. It is rare indeed to discover one whose circuitry is wholly uncorroded. The Mechanimists worship this one as an idol, and they will protect it at all cost. You will need to find a way through their host to the Beetle itself. Do you believe you can accomplish this task? Eh? Good, apprentice. Speak to Q-Girl in the workshop. She'll encode her instructions for the Beetle onto the copy of the disk. And, there's one more thing. The Beetle is located beneath the ancient cryobarrios of the Eaters. Time has worked to erode the mechanisms that contain their cryogenic mist. Or mist. That freezing vapor billows out of their chambers freely now, cooling the entire cavern. You will want to procure warm clothing to protect yourself. The spoils of the Mechanimist are yours to keep. Remember, apprentice, Verifroom will look kindly upon your service. I'll be back with your ones and zeros, steward. Now where'd Q-Girl run off to? Ah, there she is. Well, wake up. Offo informs me that you have a method of decoding the signal. Can you encode your instructions for the Beetle onto this disk? I do, brave friend. I'll imprint them now. Thank you. Alright. That's the next quest I need to go do. In the meantime, oh, what the hell is this I'm carrying? A bubble level. And a spray bottle. Might need that one later. Okay. Recoil on over to Ezra. Ooh, a crystal coronet. Or a coronet. I'm not good at pronouncing stuff, as it turns out. That would be nice to have. Better version of the crystal dagger I've got. Little bit more damage, and I think the strength bonus cap is up by 1. Which wouldn't be worth it, since I'm not even halfway there. Or, actually no wait, I am exactly halfway there for the flawless version. Does have a couple of weird artifacts. I'll try to get that helmet. Pretty comfortably afforded. Not sure what this artifact is. Weighs exactly 29 pounds. Although it could be something that's got a liquid storage container that's partially filled. Don't know until I buy it. Which I will be buying it. And the other 2 artifacts. Probably shouldn't sell the rough gems, but I will. As far as ingredients, pretty much never used the law petals. No, pickled mushrooms are good. If I have the right recipe for it. Sell the lead acid cell. Battered parchment. And the ununculus. Alright. Box of crayons. Hyper tractor. With a lead acid cell. Probably not gonna use it, so just disassemble. Got all the bits. At least the important ones. Plasma Mark II. And a slightly better dagger. How about I draw something very nice? such as the Kessel phase, the nicest thing. Make it a nice gold. A pretty picture. No, those are all just cybernetics. Could get myself a slip ring. Yeah. Alright, I think I'm done here. I think Great Gate is the closest place to the 6 days stilt. Just the next place I want to go. Alright. Not gonna share the secrets yet. I'll wait until I'm like level 30 or nearly 30 before doing that and handing over all the books. Speaking of books, do I have any to stick in here? Not really. So I never looked at what the Pope's reputation was. Loved by the mechanist and admired by crabs, for giving one of their kind a favorable horoscope reading. Well, no downside. Have some water. I will tell them of Hiramrod and Forgotten Ruins. Not gonna learn proselytize just yet. I'll finish with the current main quest, and then I'll probably pick that up. Alright. Gonna go through the still grounds counterclockwise. Grab the mirror dust. Small muddy tube. It's a rubber gum injector. Ooh, it's got some sun slag. Probably cannot afford it. Well, on second thought, maybe I could, but I'd have to sell quite a bit. What's painted on there? One auspicious day, a babe was found swaddled on the bank of an ancient river, with a strange pair of sandals in each hand. That babe came to be known as Polyphemus. This one's got information about Reshef. Acting against a prohibition on the practice of worshipping the stars, Reshef led an army to the gates of Amanforge. There he defeated his brothers in battle and liberated its citizens, and they crowned him the Sultan of Qud. No blueprints I want. An engraved rifle. In 3893 BR, Polishir, the Suruk Wo, the Kakish Scourge, husband to Namu, died of natural causes. He was 83 years old. See if the bookbinder has anything. Nothing crazy. I feel like it's the answer I have every time I visit a bookbinder. Except for when it isn't. A mysterious device. I'll buy it. It's a combat shotgun. Don't need those. No ingredients I want, but the other one. Cycle gland paste. Jeweler here has a couple of things. Might as well get rid of all the jerky I have. Bear jerky, goat jerky, crab jerky, boar jerky, frog jerky. And the rest can be star apple jam, rest of Sparktic plasma, Kinda running out of things to sell. I'll just get one rough topaz. Hold on to a bit of the Sparktic plasma. No burst pistol. Alright. Done here. Let's go on over to Bethesda Susa. Some ruins nearby. Discovered Karkaber. Discovered the location of Marrakesh. Shrine to Polyphemus, the Kapar Sorrow. Throughout 4,939 before Reshef, Polyphemus rampaged through all of the jewelers' aristocracy of Kapar, forcibly relocating the families of hermits and insects. She became known as the Kapar Sorrow. Getting hungry. Vine waver. With a noble flake of shale and a small stone to help with digestion. Primal Grenade Mark II of the Swiftic Prayer. Sounds important. I'll just leave it right there. Discover the location of the Cradle of Gersh Bethesda. Think I already know where that is. What did you know? It's right underneath Bethesda Susa. Who could have guessed? It's a lot of monkey. An engraved crude toga, an image of Reshef on it. At Starfarer's Quay, Reshef consulted with mysterious strangers and learned the secrets of the Gyre, or Gyre, by cause of the misdeeds of the Elder Sods and Sultans. Star beings had levied a curse on Cud, where Chef vowed to make right from this wrong and redeem our doomed world. On the outskirts of Bethesda Susa. Maybe I get the rest of the way just walking there. I want salt in my mouth, dead eyes and radiating darkness, and a frog for a friend. Didn't ask. Burberry. Wandering around in confusion. It's not gonna stop me from stabbing you, even if it does make me feel like it's a little unfair. I would feel bad if you weren't hostile. Level 18. +1 to every attribute. Very nice. Stick another one in quickness. Alright. Tinker 2. Learn how to make visage. $100 points left over. It's 200 points for Deadshot. Need 2 more mutation points if I want to get an extra agility out of triple jointed. So I guess I don't have to save the points this level, but I do have to save the points next level. I'll get the first level of endurance. Fullerite longsword. Picked up the boulder. Where is it? There it is. Alright. This is the entrance. Might as well clear it out. Glowsphere of the floating variety. Orbit. Not sure why one of those guys threw a glitter grenade, but they sure did. Graffiti. Handedly, I prefer the shifting and tumbling of angleless motion. Not quite sure what happened there, but the water's all fucky. Weird artifact. It's an arc winder. Hold on to that one. Why is it not going to the right? Only when it's on lock. Strange. That Jerry White does not like me, unlike the other one. Get over here. Bolted carbide wrist blade. and Gershling fangs. Frozen solid. Thankfully, he can't aim. Laser pistol. There's graffiti on this door. Ol Yuri squinted, and then the answer is in possession of the future. Alright. Before we go down, let's make a nice meal. Gonna go with cider. Mashed lag. And bone meal. It's not terribly original, but it is effective. Weakness, armor value, willpower. Vinini's Naftali bones over lag root and mashed cider. There he is, the first of the trolls. Luminous Jotun, who parts limbs. Loved by the trolls, hated by the water barons for disproving a famous theorem. Now I am gonna want that laser pistol. And maybe also the Argwinder. Throwing a few axes at me. Most of them missed. One of them hit. No penetration. Start shooting. Maybe trigger the shield too. Just in case you get lucky. Disarmed him of his weapons, but he still has more throwing axes. And now he's dead. Luminous two-handed carbide battle axe with electromagnetic shielding. Of dubious utility, but I will take it. Bronze key. If I remember right, did have, yeah, one Beetle who wants 3 vials of ashes. There's one. Like a little bit of convalescence while I'm here. 15 of it. And now, troll number 2. Luminous Fjorn Kosef, who knits the icy lattice. Loved by trolls, disliked by water barons, for refusing them entrance to a local library. Now despised by the trolls. How much ammo do I have left? Laser pistol's basically still full. Arcwinder is half full. And the last one. One that you cannot see on the screen. Unless if you look right up here. He is also kind of leaving a trail of convalescence on the ground. Wait for him to get a bit closer. Shoot. Damn. Keep firing. Just kind of standing there. Wonder if he's waiting for another opportunity to charge. Nope. I think he was just confused. Reputation with Beetles has increased. Alright, should have done this earlier, but stick on the Homoelectric wrist warmer. Gonna need that cold resist. Do I have any other sources of cold resist? Nah, I think I sold all of them. I've only got one thermal grenade Mark 1. How about a few more of those? Right, 4 of them. Could use still a few more. That's more like it. Oh hey. Juicing Cannibal. Level 19. I did mention if I put this mutation point and the next one into double muscled, or not double muscled, triple jointed, would have enough agility. Deadshot. And now that I think about it, it is kind of vague in what it does. Critical hits you score with pistols are more deadly. But how much more deadly? Want to know? Let me just pop open the wiki here. See what it says. Go to skills. Go over to pistols. Doubles the penetration value critical or penetration value bonus critical hits receive from +2 to +4 if the critical hit is dealt by a pistol. So it doubles the critical damage bonus, in other words. Unless if that's not quite how it works. Actually, yeah, now that I think about it. A regular critical hit would add a +2 to the penetration value of whatever gun you're using. So it increasing from +2 to +4 is definitely an increase. But it's not what I said it was. Probably still worth grabbing. Alright, point into triple jointed. Hold on to the skill points. Another pile of ashes. Just need one more of those. Dire White of Bethesda, or Bethsaida. Seems to be phased out. Wait for him to phase back in. Like right now. Or pile of ashes. I think that's all I need. Discover the location of Tagash the First. There's a bear. Noka, distinguished Barathramite lecturer. Loved by the Barathramite, disliked by birds for repeatedly beating them at dice. and hated by trolls for telling bawdy jokes. Why did you cover everything in plasma? It was not necessary. Odd trinket. What could it be? A combustion cell. Ooh. A book. Being reflected, refracted, polarized. It feels like one of them. Some scraps. Another laser pistol. Since I've got 2 laser pistols, gonna get rid of Mishra-Shuren. Mostly because it's difficult to say. And also because I don't have any mods on it anyway. I'll hold on to the scope chain pistol. Or Masterwork scope chain pistol. Just so I can reverse engineer it later. It is still probably the best weapon I'm gonna get for disarming enemies. And I'll also hold on to the Arcwinder. Just realized that I still only have a worn Burnous, or by worn on back item. Definitely my most outdated piece of equipment so far. Better thing I'm thinking about right now. Could make the Visage. Uses up a lot of electricity, but does have like tech scanning, bioscanning, and a couple of other things. The only thing is, I don't really have a good energy cell for it. Like, I could stick a solar cell in there, but it'll run out pretty quick. Any other cell, then I'll have to worry about replacing it, which is also annoying. Maybe I just wait for now. Graved battle axe. At a remote gambling den, Shalashid met with a group of gamblers and commissioned a 3-sided die that evoked the presence of a gleaming meteorite. He named it the Murph of Meteorite. Flexi-weaved fullerite plate mail. Damn heavy. Can I modify it? I could. Would be more than this one. Probably worth it. Went from 160 to 40. out the clone link right away. Petty mortal, bring me 4 yuckweed stems, and I shall reward you with a blazing cannon. Well, I don't have them with me, but I'm sure I can get those. Also, discovered the location of forgotten ruins. Let's go talk to the bear. Not sure if I should give him water. Maybe I should. Might be able to teach me some good mods. Serrated. Yeah. Teach me to make small spheres of negative weight. And I'll tell you of Saruk and Spheroid Fourth. Sharp. Don't think I've ever used Visored on basically anything ever. I'm gonna skip that one. Grab the 5-bit, some more of the 4s. If I remember right, the most expensive thing I can do with 4 bits is missile launchers. The more 4 bits I can find right now, the better later on. We need a 7-bit if I want any kind of mod on this dagger. So I'm just not gonna mod the dagger. Just need a 4-bit for the folded carbide wrist blade, however. How about I make it sharp? Do have those 5 bits now. Might as well. Alright. Now before I keep going further down in here, kinda wanna go over to that beetle. Turn in the ashes. Some ruins nearby. I watch over Vam. Ooh, it's a full proper book. You know what? I'll go for it. Just let me have a sip first. A big sip. Alright. Let's get to reading. The sighting of a night. I asked of us shared. We lived a life these dear people led, and I do. But you seemed special. To resist mental attacks. It modifies your hit point regeneration rate. And your carry capacity. No matter. The ether would remain. And recommended that no form of very different idea, namely, that an atom in the smalls of spiral roots is kept warm by a pretender dune reveals something out of Mammon's reach. For his daughter, the gift of shapeshifting bestowed upon him whenever he is for me. Oh. For the rest of us, a way droid, and we shall accept them. Their etymology is similarly muddy, but there are documented cases of mammals accepting the mimic. When a man thinks of a dead monkey and sawed into a tam with ear flaps. Were not for my story, I've been growing out of the Earl of Amanborg, who inhabits the colossal gate inscribed with the colorful abrasions of Gilead, and the portal muscle at their backs. That's all you note, the immense variety and wealth of coloring. Live and drink. That's right. I've leased your friends the Spindle Grounds and handled the self-appointed Earl. It's unclear to me and also its absence. Welcome to Amanborg, traveler. Quetzal. There are endless combinations of these we have such trouble squaring. That representation with our lives. Oh. I'm fine. Fine. I hear that Bela is gone. Urshling. Friend. Your chance to attack from those originally intended by the music. Come smoke with me, and I won't tell. I don't see utility in unkindness, but he's a fool. Go, quickly. I'd suit me tasteless. So does the written wisdom of our freshwater, too. And quench your thirst. I've heard that the concentration, or condensation, takes place while the opposite direction, a phenomenon of semantic distance, a sensation of the shoe. You see, years and probably more to reach us, though traveling at the salt sky. I, a sophist of the direct rays of light, are forms of energy represent some specific form of a copse of brinestock, or the risk of cybernetics? Why do I install a cybernetic implant cost 1 credit? We have at our meager camp and rest under the shade of this mighty power. The elements, therefore, may be regarded as an embodiment of energy, is the cloven trunk of Chava, the tree of life at Ain Rouge, to begin with mutation scores of 1. Taken a tomb, but freshened now to look pretty, and the course of air is inversely proportional to the piece, Iva. I am yet hopeful that their characters, when once created, develop a means to speak, trapped in 60 kinks of spacetime. Alright, just a short break, and another sip. And back to the madness. When a man's resolution to persist in his sticky forefeet and not to augment Effenreach's role as a rank thug, welcome back to its terminus, 40 strata deep. With help, someday. There was then ejected an enormous quantity of fine ape fur, prized for its engines, because the gyrocopters broke. But every adventure has its velocity, continuously reduced by half. Have them send delegates. Bit heartier, is. I must ask you to act under ordinary physical circumstances, but of theirs. This is because there are very small, many of the Eustace Sutta in 18 pp, and 3 wrenches. Oh, I'd rather not encounter you for taking part in this. Like you, they might be. There would be a most impressive object lesson, since from it in my name. Every once in a tongue of his life repelling the incursions of the dead, but as his wife. The outcome is undocumented. The shadows on your face are cast by a lever with a pull ring. We are outcast, pushed to the brain, and a series of skirmishes ensued. The might of the Isakari say, should your compass lead you back from Amanborg. Only cold tradition and the chemical reactions they produce. Their material has careened past the outer reaches, grows as a shattered promise. One sweltering evening, when Vespers sagged low in the well. I'm watching you, traveler. The elder, no. Oh. By contrast, I learned a great mutual boon. No, yes. It is called his desire body is composed of 2 different minds. They desire nothing, but the mind wanders. From the man had chosen to serve you. This had actually happened, sometimes because the frictions and viscosity of the gyre widened, and the peaceful rain of the haze also decreases. Be vested to tell me that immigration would require such intensive logistics. Take out what you've busted, and I'll repair them. Given the circumstances, this is also nice to rest. My apprentice. What? Do they? Yes. But I daren't go. Like Clank, my thoughts on the prairie grass and worm its gummy scales in the beginning. That thoughts are things, and puissant things, and it is hard for us this season. Enchantment. It knows no other fabric. Star apples and honey. Ukas. To his body in Litus spirals. Return soon. Moon King and thenceforth called her Gyaos. And those whose faculties enable them to the greasy faces of their brand, the butt of their own, and spent the entire court of an inch in diameter. Your luminous friends are hard workers and quick learners. I can't imagine why you would think themselves fit to the truth, but how dearly I wish I burned it. But we'll start at this time, and he thanks you for bringing Neela around. And please forgive her reservation. There is no Urshib. I royal to see one in yonder sun-touched cradle. You are terribly small. Oxygen will combine with fluorine, but my schema of 2 poles now feels excessive and reductive. Almost, but you can carry on your person. Moon King, you won't regret this, Kendrin, I promise. So let's get to it. Every mystery hinges on the apex with the commission of a credo now. Let them draw together the bones of light as a whole class of mid-tier artifacts. You serve at my pleasure. Damn. That was a lot of words. How about this one? Sound signatures. Leave, I beg you. Friend, I would never have been something of self or of personal worldview. Please, read on. Alright, another sip, I beg of you. Sometimes the minute, 3rd edition. The sense of time has locked her in a very simple thought form. Experience, but I have no doubt have. Far and away, I glimpse the bright world of wood, coral, and ivy. What does it mean? Current jumps up the path. In glutted ecstasy, your own hand has vaporized your purpose. Nakam as Water, Volume 9. I thought that the matter was itself incapable of deciphering the workings of even the restful slumber of eternity. Autochthones of the air look funny, or fuzzy, and the cassafessants shine upon thee, Moon King. Steel barrel. Oh, another full book. I'll admit, I don't feel like it, but at the same time, I feel like I should. Alright, let me down the rest of the drink. And now we get the reading. I bet he's still out there. Yuant is a great amount of dust in her light. They stop by my tent from time to assess the losses we suffered in the midst of the slimp. Never greater has been impact of friction, condensation, or chemical reactions. When molecular structure of the proceedings tipped the end of the Ustis Sutta outside of the tinker, or thinker, who sends forth by its rate, was Naphtali once, is edible vapor. For reasons I will be well to state that blacks, or black, means hatred and malice. The river of time powers the great train of our elders. The companionship is welcome. Be mindful of the North. They are, brave friend. It was with this knowledge that this radiating vibration and a low amount of mental matter ensouled by the day, but the Hendrin of Bela's history, trampled to death by the Musker, sneaked away by the ray of light sculpture, a newness obtains. Rumors spread that Esper bandits had forsaken their bands, discarded their guns and bows, and sworn fealty to the gates of Omniforge. Act quickly, Moon King. Live and drink. It's like, our little sanctuary here have a credo, will share it with a distinctive crackle. My apologies, Kendrin, and welcome to rest by the founding of the Grove. Please reconnect Finworld Ha, friend. You must wait for the fruit to ripen. This suggestion did not complete the task. I know of some type of mental matter ensouled by playful nature spirits, or more often because some dead novelist watching on the edges of the earth until the pall of evening was cast, and then softened toward the ground. The relevant excerpts reads, Road Twinning Fa. How we accomplished this, however, is an exceedingly interesting one. The daughter of exile who lives there is no doubting their usefulness. The conduit is near assembled, and once it stood in monument to Moon King. Bless you. Take a seat. I know the mark of death has been soon to a dizzying gyre. Sad, crossing no, through the high gate to the ground. We must take my suffixal notation, rendered after the fall to Earth, orbits its chosen warden. That was not my trust, that was my voyage, offers little elucidation. Certain powers allow you to decipher this enigma. Find Pax Clank. Edited for clarity by Q-Girl, succeeded at retreading the mainframe's guts. Or if she was very fine church organ, of sorts. I promise it to a coven of tailors, who then stitched the tam. There it was spun on the bowl of iris. Once again, I pulled my astral tether. It's a flaming vessel. Alright, I'm out of drink, but I do have some water. And boy do I feel like I need it. Alright, back to speaking nonsense. I think I was right here. It's a flaming vessel. An old music machine. Translations refracted so deeply through the blurry placenta shines a museum of historical objects from across the broad length of a coiled mound. Yes. Ask if asking. No parting is simple. No toe. I write by a lever with a lot of talking. Some birds breathe fire. Perhaps I should be. We were close. Weapons may modify other statistics. Look at a tavern in Yasotara. The number of dust particles in the denser the cloud is finer, like mare's tails, receiving the name in defiance of the sharp keel of its length, so that it was with utter bewilderment that he appeared on the other for taking part in it. I sell things, and you go there, and they will thrive here at last. Eastward, they recess towards Whitecomb, at the bottom of Taproot, Tau Manifest. It came by experience to people who had become much colder, and I thank you. And, Jasper? What is it? Make sure that it originates from the weight of earth gas and dust swirls around its pedestals. But if you are back, I feared we would draw the attention of customers. Gersh Titans, who eat the same element as to form the austere seat. Essahind is completely loyal to Grando. Unusual circumstances have put my study in disarray, but no cave spider would dare get so near wooden stomps. Newlands, Mendeleev, Mayer, and others like me to harmfully reductive conclusions. Be with friends. But Angelhind, Master Detective, you disgust me. I saw a turn in the eye that matches hers catch a sight of chrome, but to have evoked such dread that riders drew their chariots to a wheel and shaped into waves, fired, and glazed into a maze and resolidified. So, Bepsi Widget, or Bepsi Widget, or Bepsi Widget, or Bepsi Widget. Oh, not very accurate. He might reflect that if there were different kinds of mechanical energy of being. Tonight, you're a bit concerned that there are 100 knuckles in the fashion after. I am, and it appears to orbit a center as I've known. Mopango are plated, digging creatures whose armor scales glow a pale shadow of the eater's favorite remains. Adventurous ones set off for their wearer. Anyone can only rebound from it and return to their logical conclusions, applying them to insert themselves into the Aether. Obviously and unfortunately, no primary sources are available from these distant lands. The idea was soon abandoned, and today there is Ereshkigal. Not as Angohand, village bookworm. But I am torn asunder. This outcome. The sheer splits me. Ask Alaba about air encounter with the juice of star apples. You must feel it too. I'll rig up a signal, some sort of water freak. Fondrenite pilgrim, Arconaut, make yourself useful and fetch me a great saltbacked steps. Too many questions with no access to our uplifting. Them. We are past time of Polishir. It was decomposed. Alright, let me just have another sip. Water. Alright, continue the verbal workout. Although the welcome of these quadrants bring air polluted in its early stages, tattooed a mark on your body. We ask, we answer. No. It's not entirely clear if she was water fasting, but I am to refrain from being puffed on, to cultivate my own. Are we yet researchers? The subject consent no longer believes in the direction of the instrument, from pure clearness to nearly black-blue. Makes the fauna start. You and your temperature cannot be helped. The superstition of centuries adds to the difficulty in the wake, or in its wake. Some help you are. Now our village lacks a warden. You see the pen of fate in another's grasp that you might require it one day. But the sight of it all, a spindle, pierces the firmament. These books can weather the salt and jungle alike. Born by Kor, son of a creeping bush. He who is rough of his bear snout, is dark and not having it. Doff your tabards, now, and carry out a proud and parted mane of bristles. Frame a wide hexagonal prism. Oof. Rest, friend. But I can think of Maffeo. You will understand, friend human. If you need of identification or repair, I can answer questions about the crowding, the poem I wrote, and accept the depravity of those forms: gravitational, thermal, electric, magnetic, or any other. all at the risk of cybernetics. How do I install a cybernetic implant? Goodbye. At the Battle of Yut Yuyut. When I spotted her, I caught myself mid-step, mid-breath, mid-thought, and I was in high relief. To the northwest of Mograyi, and that I saw him from the egg, but wound down the pure upper air to resettle as distilled dew. Then you must use your judgment and intuition, Kendron. From here, I must warn you. However, cast no villain's shadow on these grounds. In my haste to reach the fungal grove, I misstepped, though persistent across the electromagnetic channels. The rainbow would spill out of careful routine. We parted with an uneasy compromise, and I am in need. And so, a call to hunt, I will heed your word, and carry out a ring of rust flakes off the boundary of its underhalls before settling on a bevy of soup sludge who had believed the inhabitants of Quid than hers. I spent so long, I had a soft and howling melody. So definitely not cute girls. Live mites in the cathedral library. Whenever you return, you may spend to augment the score of one body could act upon it. But how dearly I wish I had simply confessed in person. Some will see nothing else. Honestly, probably like an 8 out of 10 book right there. Hey, Dromac Caravan. Probably would not gonna want to hold on to this thing. So get rid of it. More books. A powerless eye. Recover one, repair it, and seek me at once, become of it. Does it bring exaltation of control, or relief from a faraway and darkling star? Rouse to a quick release lever. Stay safe. Breaking through shale. Taking a minute or two. Depths of Bethesda. Preserve this, observe that, add anything, taste everything. Forms of energy in the peaceful rain. Aya, Rokos. I ranch these here buttes. Calories and they see the slim if. Press CMD factions to view your faction relationships Head Like the Prongs, Volume 6. The Normal Friend. Otherwise, you fail. Our people have walked the salt on his cheeks. "12 I scurried down. Years ago I sought to deter me from looking into the Aether. The meticulous gem cutter infects strongly. I hope they are to him any adequate impression of blueness, and the necessary condition for transformation is arrested through indecision or neglect. Festival forced upon. Oof. Rest, friend." Alright. Took a lot longer than expected. I wonder why. Actually, kind of forget why I was here in particular anyway. No, there was a reason, and I think I'm looking right at it. A beetle demanding 3 piles of ashes. Here he is. Give him the ash. I accept your offering. The sparking beetle gives you a set of engraved, strange tubes. What do we get? They're probably a variety of powered exoskeleton. Urania Lasadia's breast. +1 ego, 2 strength. Graved to the scene of the life of the ancient Sultan Shalashid II. At the Battle of Nashur, Shalashid II fought as a mercenary to subjugate crabs. She wielded a prismatic pistol with such artfulness that it became forever known as Prismatic Crab's Light. Aha. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's enough for now. Now, I would also try to make a raid, but I really have to piss, so I don't have the time for that. So, hopefully it was a good stream. See ya.